What's up, everyone? Checking in. Been a long day. Wonder how everyone's doing. I've just been dealing with kids. Peter, great to see you. Yeah, I've had my wife's working, doing coronavirus testing on a Sunday. They're working 7 days a week at their lab, and she's not working 7 days a week. Well, pretty much. She's worked 6 days this week, 24/7 drive-up testing that the National Guard's doing here in Georgia. So a bunch of stuff going on. My new video out today that not doing great. I'm not sure why. Usually when I do my top 20 videos, they do well, and this one is really doing badly in comparison. Don't know why. I think it has to do with the video I took down, or had the video with Rhett. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. The video with Rhett that I did, that YouTube because I had COVID in the title, YouTube throttled it back on my channel because it thought it was off-brand, even though it was about music. So yeah, so that's so my channel, every time I do these things, the video, when you hide a video like that it was getting so much spam, crazy spam on it. So I took it down, and anyway, so when you take a video down, though, it affects it typically affects the next couple videos that come after that. So anyway, so I think that's I don't think it's a Sunday. John says a Sunday release issue. I don't think so. No, because typically my series does really well. That series, and that video took so long to make. It was kind of like the only one that's taken that long to make was my top 20 drum fill video, which did really badly at first too, and that's only got over 1 million views, 1.2 million views, something like that now. It's kind of a similar thing. Yeah, but it's really, I never work on videos that much, so it's I just get frazzled at the end, It was really hard. So Charlie says, talk about why it was hard to sync the vocals. Oh. Okay, so Shane was the only one that actually has a mic with the recording thing. Okay, so, and he has a nice camera, and his camera shot looked better than mine. I was like, man, Shane, your color correction, everything looks better than mine. You're making me making me look bad. So Jason and Carmen only had their cell phones. And I didn't say film in landscape mode, landscape mode like this, landscape mode, right? As opposed to this. Anyways, so I was like, okay, well, how are we going to do this? They can't sing to a click. They have to sing to a thing. So I did it. I had scratch versions of the songs, right? Just a couple instruments with a basic tempo, no click track or anything, right? And so I said, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I said, okay, here's I did a verse, chorus. Okay. So I sent it to them. Then they did their videos. Shane started each thing. Oh my God, it was just a nightmare. So They send me just the audio track with them singing. Okay, so then I have to line it up with I have to move the music around to where it lines up and sounds in time with it. Okay. Yes, that was Carmen Keegan's. IBJI said, yes, that was Carmen from where her married name is Harvey. She's been married for 9 years now. I had her Carmen Keegan's, and I had to fix that before I put the video out. So, anyway, so I had to slide this stuff around, and vocals are not exactly in time. So, so that was tricky. And then, without a click track, I had to play to the stuff that wasn't played to a click track. And I didn't realize when I made the list up that, I was thinking about that. I didn't realize it's like all piano songs. I didn't put Angie on there because I felt like, well, I'll give Wild Horses because that's one of my other favorite songs. I'll give that. People were complaining, why wasn't Angie number one? It's just I harp on Angie so much that I decided to do something different. So the frustrating thing was to play to things that had no count offs. Right? Oh God. No count offs. So it wasn't really well thought through, the whole thing, right? So it took days. And I had my yellow chamois shirt there that I just, had sitting here. Every time I'd come and work on it, I just put it on. I always wear a different black t-shirt. But their vocal performances I thought were great. And I wish the video would do better. If any of you haven't watched it, please watch it because it's I think they're some incredibly good vocal performances. So the so it's tough. So I'm having to do with my wife working all the time, watch the kids all day and then work on the videos and it's I just get frazzled sometimes. This has just been unusually busy with the 3 kids home and just the with the workload with my wife and stuff has been that's been really tough, really tough. So anyways, so I'm trying to think. I've got a lot of ideas for videos. I think I need to refocus my efforts. I come on here like once a year to do this. A couple weeks ago, that I had the trending video, the Led Zeppelin video, and I had someone reach out to me. And send me this this is why I got on this fascinating article. Well, there's a couple things I wanted to talk about here. Okay, so there's a comment that I got. I always screenshot comments that I find really interesting, right? So, where is this here? So somebody wrote yesterday, this is interesting because this is all related here, and I wanted to kind of bounce it off you guys here. Okay, so bear with me for a second. Somebody wrote to me on the Led Zeppelin video got blocked thing. They said they're making their music extinct. It's talking about blocking. I don't want to harp on blocking. And not only extinct, but they're erasing any evidence that their music existed. That's my argument, of course. Much of what you're doing is memorializing music culture and history in a way nobody else is doing, at least not at the scale and with the musical literacy that you have presented the world. Now, I'm not saying that I'm just to toot my own horn, but I wanted to relate to this. Then someone else sent me this article. This is really what I wanted to talk about here that I think is absolutely fascinating. Let me see here. I sent it around to some of my friends too. It's about the universal decay of collective memory and attention. Okay. It's the article. Somebody sent me this thing, and it's called "How We'll Forget John Lennon." It says and the subheading is our culture has two types of forgetting. So there's this guy Cesar Hidalgo, 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 director of collective learning group at the MIT Media Lab. So it says Hidalgo was listening to music, and a student asked a student if she recognized a song. She wasn't sure. Is it Coldplay? She asked. It was Imagine by John Lennon. Hidalgo took it in stride that his student didn't recognize the song. As he explains in the interview below, he realized the song wasn't from her generation. What struck him was the incident echoed a question that has long intrigued him, which was how music and movies and other things that once shone in popular culture faded like evening from the public memory. He says with his MIT colleagues, he developed Pantheon, a data set that ranks historical figures by popularity from 4000 BC to 2010. Aristotle and Plato snagged the top spots. Jesus is third. Highly addictive platform, allows you to search people, places, occupations with a variety of parameters. Okay, so then he gets into then there's this report further on down that says the universal decay of collective memory and attention concludes that people and things are kept alive through oral communication from about 5 to 30 years. They then pass into written and online records where they experience a slower, longer decline. The paper argues that people and things that make the rounds at the water cooler have a higher probability of settling into physical records. Changes in communication technologies, this in quotes, such as the rise of the printing press, radio, and television, it says, affect our degree of attention, and all our cultural products, from songs to scientific papers, follow a universal decay function. So then they said, how do you define collective memory? It says the easiest definition would be those pieces of knowledge or information that are shared by a large number of people. Why does collective memory decay matter? And then the guy says, Hidalgo says, if you think about it, culture and memory are the only things we have. We treasure cultural memory because we use that knowledge to build and produce everything we have around us. That knowledge is going to help us build a future and solve the problems we have yet to solve. If aliens come here and wave a magic wand and everyone forgot everything, our cars, buildings, bridges, airplanes, and power systems, and so forth, we would collapse as a society immediately. And then they said, what is an example of this? And he said, I thought everyone knew Imagine by John Lennon. I'm almost 40 and my student was probably 20. I realized Imagine is not as popular in her generation as it was in mine, and it was probably less popular in my generation than in the generation before. People have a finite capacity to remember things. There's great competition for the content out there. The number of people who know or remember something decays over time. Then he goes in to talk about Elvis Presley memorabilia, that people will die and had all this memorabilia, and then there are people that inherited it, tried to sell it, but only to realize that the people that bought it, used to buy it, they were also dying and not buying these things, and it was really not worth anything. So this is absolutely fascinating, though, because this is kind of about, when I talk about blocking, about people being forgotten, which obviously, so there's a lot of people that don't like the Beatles, which shocks me. It really shocks me that the Beatles are starting to leave the collective memory of the generation now. We're talking about Beatles 50 years old now. So, my What Makes This Song Great series has ranged with everything from, I've done the Beatles on there, but not really, but I couldn't actually use a Beatles song. So things from the 60s through, I just did a Carnival song, a band from Australia that was from 2009. I've done Pliny from 2017 or so. I've done Periphery. I interviewed Tosin Abasi from Animals as Leaders. And I'm going to do a song of his because it's really it's important to promote and to always be listening to new music, I believe. So, but you also have to have historical perspective on things. You always go back and study the greats. That's what we did as jazz musicians. You guys have heard me talk about that a lot of times. So, so people from when we were going to name my daughter Lennon, my oldest sister said, who's the biggest Beatles fan there is, said, well, they're going to think it's Vladimir Lenin. I said, what? I said, only people your age are going to think it's Lenin. It's not going to be spelled Lenin. And I said, who remembers Lenin unless you're 65 years old, or me that likes to read about history, So anyways, eventually Lennon, my daughter's name, will be disconnected from John Lennon. That's probably already happening. So but it's really, have the Stones. Well, so wait. So there was another article then that I started going down this rabbit hole. Then there was a thing called the eternal revenue stream of Led Zeppelin, and it talked about how Atlantic Records has continually. It says in the streaming era, record companies are cashing in anew on old hits and getting more creative on how they do it. They're talking about Led Zeppelin T-shirts, all this stuff, and the guy that runs Warner Music Group. They're talking about putting together a logo name generator, which, true to its word, simply generates images with the user's band names in the signature. I don't know what this stuff is, but it's talking about how they went on promoting Led Zeppelin's name, keeping Led Zeppelin's name out there, right? And Zeppelin's first record came out in 1968. Really, the Beatles didn't start happening until 1964. I mean, it says 1962, but really 1964. So only 4 years later did the, thank you, James. Only 4 years later did Led Zeppelin come out. Yet Led Zeppelin, in some ways, is more relevant to people of the younger generation. I'm not sure why. It's just... it's different. And I tell you, other bands that have suffered, whose legacy is suffered, like U2, I think, REM. I think that those bands, U2 has continued to tour, but there is there's a real dislike out there towards U2. Not by everybody. I love U2. They're one of my favorite bands, but I noticed this about U2, and I see it in the comments. But kids nowadays, they don't care about this stuff unless they have an old parent like me that plays these things. So I'm always listening to new music, and then going back, and I get into. I went down this rabbit hole over the last couple of days of Gordon Lightfoot. So I've been obsessed with listening to Gordon Lightfoot, and I was just watching interviews of Gordon Lightfoot over the years. And then I was on the YouTube rabbit hole. Then I found a video of Joni Mitchell, Bob Dylan hanging out at Gordon Lightfoot's house, in the back in the 70s, and Joni Mitchell playing Coyote. It's unbelievable. Some of you, I'm sure, have seen it. It's unbelievable. It's really amazing. And I love Gordon Lightfoot. Anyway, so this stuff really fascinates me. So Bill says the kids I work with have no interest in U2. Garance writes, I think that once a group has a 20-year career like U2, the younger crowd assumes they should run away from that group. I tell you, when they included U2's music on the iPhone that time, that was a big mistake. That was a big mistake. That was a shark jumping moment for them. And me as a massive U2 fan stopped following U2 really in the after in the 2005, 2007, something like that. Yeah, I'm tapping my feet. There's something. No, that's my kids running around. That's what you're hearing. Let's see here. Yeah, so Gordon Lightfoot, Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Now, I geek out to that song. My kids just roll their eyes when I play it. They can't. What are you playing? And I just can't fathom a song that's 8 minutes long like that, or whatever it is. It's got such a great melody to it. And I honestly just freak out when I listen to it. It's so fun. But then I start to think about, I've been having this discussion with my friend Keith, 5 Watt World Keith, lately. About cultural relevance of lyrics, and I want to make a video on this. Let's see. Peter asked, do you think that blockers will have to scramble in 10 or 20 years when they're truly forgotten? Will they be able to turn time back? You know what, Peter, what I think is going on? A lot of these blockers, like Don Henley, are managed by old school managers, like Irving Azoff is his manager, I believe. And when people that are, you have managers that are in their 60s or 70s that only know the music business one way, and Irving Azoff's been incredibly successful as a manager, but not everyone can stay current all the time, especially when it comes to new models of the music business. And to him, if he can get the ticket sales, I mean, I'm just guessing, if he can get the ticket sales for Don and make his 20% off of it, then that's all that matters. Why does he care about their legacy? It's not his legacy. When he's gone, and he's not going to be making any money off him. It's up to the artist to figure out what their legacy is, and if it matters to them. If they have children and they want to pass things down, they want to pass down, financial resources. Marvin Gaye's estate has been, making money. As to, if you think about every musician that's still on the radio now that's passed on their songwriting rights to their children, to their siblings, whoever, whether it's Jimi Hendrix's estate, Prince's estate, everyone that's deceased, Michael Jackson, the writer's share at the minimum goes to their whoever it's been assigned to. And Bill says if they own their own rights. So this is the thing, is that usually when people sell their publishing, most of the time they're not selling the writer's share. Okay, not always, but some people give away the writer's share. And somebody mentioned that when I was talking about James Taylor the other night, that James Taylor, somebody on Twitter said James Taylor sold his catalog to a hedge fund, and that was kind of a thing that people did. Some people, when streaming started, before streaming really started to become a viable revenue source, 10 years ago, people were selling their catalog of royalties from airplay to investors. They would get a big chunk of money, basically like a publishing advance, essentially. Somebody's 8-minute X says the searchers all say they'd have made Whitefish Bay if they put 15 more miles behind her. That is absolutely brilliant melody writing or lyric writing. That is just, but yet, do those lyrics mean anything to people? When I hear operator, okay, so this is kind of what I was thinking about making a video of, the cultural relevance of lyrics. Operator, Jim Croce, one of the greatest songs, right? Payphone. Kids don't know what payphones are. They don't know that you used to need an operator to make some calls. They don't know about a dime is what a phone call used to be. All of this... all of these things. Jim Croce, amazing, right? Operator, could you help me place this call? See, the number on the matchbook is old and faded. Okay, matchbooks. Nobody smokes anywhere. You used to have matchbooks at bars that people smoked at, and you would write phone numbers down. But that cultural reference means nothing to anyone, right? They don't know Jim says they don't know about phone dialers. Right. I remember having to use an operator to make calls. If you had to call Europe or anywhere like that. Long distance calls a lot of times growing up. I mean, there's people on here watching this that know what I'm talking about. I know this. Party lines, right? When you'd get on and somebody else would be on the line. Okay, oh yeah, sorry. And then you hang up or you pick it up again 10 minutes later. They're still on, hanging up. You guys remember party lines? How many people know about that stuff? It's insane. Yeah, it's really crazy. So Harry Chapin should rename the song Uber. Well, the thing is, the taxis still exist. So there's Deb, you got party lines, right? Right? Use dialers on tour. I mean, no, this is crazy. Joe says we used to count the minutes on long distance calls because they were so expensive. Exactly. Oh my God. Mail order 6 to 8 weeks. Exactly. I love Jim Croce. Okay, but the cultural relevance of lyrics. Now, the Beatles wrote lyrics that some of the lyrics would be corny to people. I want to hold your hand. Quaint, or whatever you want to say. But a lot of the Beatles lyrics are pretty timeless because they don't talk about specific, woke up, rolled out of bed, dragged a comb across my head. Made my way downstairs and had a smoke. And somebody spoke and I went into a dream. Made the bus in second, or what is it? Made the bus in seconds flat. Somebody spoke and I went into a dream. Okay. So yeah. So that, I'm thinking about day in the life. That any of those lyrics. I read the news today. Oh boy. So, I mean, those are a lot of the Beatles lyrics that were psychedelic in nature from the mid period on. Grab my coat. That's right. Thank you, Robert. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Well, I believe in yesterday. Okay, yeah. I mean, those are lyrics that haven't necessarily gone out of style, but but lyrics that by folk-oriented writers, whether it's Jim Croce. I mean, that Operator's the perfect song. Or, I was thinking about If You Could Read My Mind by Gordon Lightfoot. If you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts could tell. I'm going to play Gordon Lightfoot here just to see if it gets... I want to see if it gets dinged here. Because I want to do a video on this. There's a great synth part in the middle of this. There's a sus arpeggio that a synthesizer plays.
The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down at the big lake they
Do I like Bob Dylan? I named my son Dylan.
The lake, it is said, never gives up her dead when the skies of November turn gloomy.
These are amazing lyrics. My God.
With a load of iron ore, 26,000 tons more than the Edmund Fitzgerald weighed empty.
The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down. Oh my God.
That shipping true was a bone to be chewed when the gales of November came early.
Man.
The ship was the pride of the American sun.
It's just absolutely brilliant, right? Hold on. Go to artist here. Hold on here. Gord's Gold. Here we go. Okay, so If You Could Read My Mind, okay? This is one of the finest songs ever written, I think. Thank you, dude, man.
If you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts could
These
tell.
lyrics are ridiculous.
Just like an old-time movie about a ghost from a wishing well
Oh, man.
in a castle dark
Forget it.
or a fortress strong with chains upon my feet.
Oh,
You know that
the strings are phenomenal.
and I will never be set free as long as I'm
God.
a ghost you can't see.
Okay. I mean, this is just incredible. I get chills when I hear this song.
Read your mind, love, what a tale your thoughts could tell.
Right here.
Just like a paperback
The kind the drugstores sell.
the kind that
Do drugstores sell paperback novels anymore?
when you reach the part
Oh, man.
where the heartaches come, the hero,
Oh, boy. Come on. The hero would be me. Heroes
often fails.
often failed. Oh, man.
You won't read that book again
My God.
because the ending just too hard to take.
The strings, too? My God. The string arrangements, forget it. Forget it. That is real gold right there. Wow. I'm on one hand, I interviewed Tosin Abasi, who's the guy, progressive metal guitar player out, cutting edge, phenomenal guitar player. Interviewed him for my channel, and we were talking. He was saying that he loves the fact that I'm engaged in new music all the time, and I love talking about all the things that are happening in current guitar music and all types of popular music now, because I told him that I'm really one of the things is I'm absolutely fascinated by music production of popular music, and always have been. That's what I did for a living. I mean, I'm a music producer, and I worked. I mean, I was producing and making my living 3 years ago as a music producer, doing contemporary music with people in their 20s. That's how I know Rhett. That's how I know all these, that's how I that's why I'm on YouTube right now talking to you guys, right? So, but I still have this love of these songs that I grew up with too, that I want people to understand and learn from this great art of songwriting that these people used to engage in, this lyrical storytelling. When people ask Bob Dylan who his favorite songwriters are, he's, Gordon Lightfoot, Gordo. When they ask Gordon Lightfoot who his favorite, biggest influence is, Bob Dylan. These people are just were amazing lyricists, and they could really tell a story. So GDK, where do I stand on Neil Peart's lyrics? When he passed, his lyrics took a backseat to his technical accomplishments. I think we need to remind people. Oh, man, come on. Rush's lyrics. I haven't done my Neil video that I want to do, and I will do that video where I actually talk about that. I've actually been planning on doing a video on Neil. I got to write my note. What's up, Renzo? Good to see you. I'm going to make my note to keep working on my Neil. I got to finish my Neil video. Okay. There we go. I made a note about that. So I think it's important to learn from these things. Thank you, Renzo. Appreciate that. I think it's important to examine this old music. That's what makes this song great about. That's why. Please do a video on the Professor. I will, John. I'm doing it. Definitely doing it, dude. Man, thank you. Bauhaus. I need to do some Bauhaus too. I got my list of videos to make here. I'm trying to not get my videos blocked. So anyway, so one of the things is I wanted to play those Gordon Lightfoot songs to see if they get blocked. I'm glad I just played that right now. There is a little announcement. I mentioned it the other day, I think. I can't remember if I mentioned it here about ECM, that a friend of mine reached out to ECM and said that if I make a video on an ECM artist and I upload it unlisted and write to them, they will unblock it. Now, since I didn't talk to them, I'm not sure that I trust that. So, Dave Matthews Band. I gotta do a Dave Matthews Band. DMB. What makes? Okay. Okay. So yeah. So that's yeah, so that's so the early Matheny stuff, Keith Jarrett, all that stuff. No, this is legit. My friend that talked to one of the head guys at ECM lives in Munich, where they're based. So I think this is legit, but do I want to spend the time? This is really where it comes down to. Do I want to spend my time making a video that may get blocked, right? Ultimately, I'll tell you another thing. This is a total aside. I know that I jump from topic to topic, but you guys know me on here. I had one copyright infringement thing on this new video, and it was only because they were all covers, right? They're not the original thing, and covers never get demonetized. Usually it was for Dream On. Out of the 20 songs I did, I got one YouTube notice. So that those guys are making every cent from my new video. Not that it matters, but I'm just saying it's just outrageous that these are all covers I did, so that I wouldn't have the video blocked, and it still got demonetized. But Deb, I think you should, Rick, because you're basically laying down the foundation for how this is done. Everyone's reacting to the demands you're making. This is the thing. The thing is, Deb, people have been writing to me and saying that the reason that James Taylor responded to me, his account responded to me 2 more times today, but I didn't respond. Just basically stating their opinion again about the blocking. It's not their fault. So because of, by the way, I hit 30,000 followers on this channel. Unbelievable. People are saying that the reason that people are responding to me about blocking is because I've championed the blocking thing, right? The term, all that stuff, blockers. I've been talking about it for a couple of years. And everybody's like, oh, you should get a class action suit. It's like, no, this is for young people to do on YouTube. It's not for me to do. Hey, Rob, good to see you. It's there's young people. If you want to have some class action suit or do something about copyright, I think the copyright thing will resolve itself eventually. I do. If people just keep making videos about this, it makes a difference. I don't know if I'm gonna make any more videos about it, to be honest with you. I reacted. I did that live thing about the Lee Sklar's thing, and I talked to Lee actually. He reached out to me. We had a conversation 2 days ago, the day the video came out, and I had a fascinating conversation with him. 73 years old, Lee is. 73. Never too late to do something. I always say it's never too late to waste the rest of your life, but that was one of my favorite things I would say to my students when I was in my 20s, and my students were a couple years younger than me. When I was a college professor, I'd be like, well, it's never too late to waste the rest of your life. And they would always look at me like, what? So it's not up to me to, I am going to interview Lee, definitely. Next week, I'm going to interview him. Vapor Trails, I watch every plenty interview I can find, and yours, but I still don't understand what he's doing 90% of the time. More of that would be cool. I'm going to tell him that. It was a lot funnier when we were younger. I know, exactly, right? So this is a fight for younger people, though. But like I said, I think that the blocking thing is not going to be an issue in the future. I don't get down about that stuff. It makes me temper my content. Am I going to do a Pink Floyd video that I'd love to do? No. Am I going to do a Queen video? No. Am I going to do a blah blah blah? Maybe I want to do Gordon Lightfoot video, but no. I'll stick with current bands. So then I started thinking, okay, what kind of videos should I really be doing on here, right? Which is why I'm on here with you guys today. What kind of videos should I keep doing? Am I going to go back and do my mode videos? I still have to do Phrygian and Locrian and then move on to the next set. I don't have Rhett and Dave that I can get here to do those kind of videos, which I always enjoyed. I think those things were a big part of my channel. My big part of my channel was having people come here and talk about things. I want to push the envelope. I want to keep pushing the envelope. Let's see here. Wait, interview Geddy Lee? Dude, that would be so cool. Rush's son. I'd love to interview Geddy Lee. Is there more good music being made now than ever before, but no one hears it? There's a ton of good music being made now. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Theory videos are great. Modal chording. Should try to interview Neil Young. Lee's definitely going to happen. That's done. videos in relation to the Beato book chapters. Love my series on film music. Yeah, I've done nothing on film music. Like your mix of different things. Interviews, what makes a song, theory. Among the song breakdowns. How about a video, does modern classical music still matter? Good title. Does modern classical music still matter? Question mark. Where's the question mark? Anybody wants to put actual titles in here? You guys are the best for that. Might be interesting on great songs that were never released. Nothing on scoring since a while. Yes. Well, you know what? I have talked about scoring. But that's not true, Martin. In my Lydian video, I talked a lot about scoring. 5 Watt World in the house. What's up, hypes? Yeah, so my Lydian video, which has about 500,000 views, it is there's a lot of film scoring in that. I explain a lot about film scoring in that. James Taylor, you're sorry. Nice, Chuck. Like to see more rhythm theory stuff. Odd times, implied modulation. Let's see here. More about video game, music, film scoring, B-sides, talking about... Let's see here. Maybe we do videos that highlight some music that goes... Oh, man, it's going too fast for me to read this here. Outside of divers. The Beato book would like to do more videos to go along with the chapters. Yeah, you interviewed that guy with the crazy home studio. You interviewed that guy with the crazy home studio. What crazy home studio is that? You're talking about Tom Holkenborg, Junkie XL. It is a home crazy home studio. That's an insane home studio. When Prague evolved, 1979 to 1984. Oh, Deb. When Prague evolved, 1979 through 1984. That's what I'm talking about, Deb. Interview Danny Elfman or Devin Townsend. Okay. What makes a song great? One-hit wonders. The TV theme. Oh, series themes. I forgot about that. TV theme songs. This is a slow-moving chat. Yes, I know. More Carmen Harvey. Where'd you find her? Carmen is the best. One take, Carmen. I just called her up. I said, Carmen, can you do this? Here's the things. Yeah, no problem. I'll do them. And then she sent me the audio of the thing, right? And I said, Carmen, I need video. Sorry about this. She had already done it. I said, Carmen, it's from YouTube. I need video of you singing them. She goes, oh, she has 2 kids, and she works as a nurse on the weekends. And, or not on the weekends, during the week, and it was her weekend. She said, oh, yeah, I'll re-sing them. And, 30 minutes later, she sent them to me again. Didn't we brainstorm on theme songs months back? Live stream on theme songs. Yes, we did. I have it. I have all that. I have a playlist of movie themes or of TV themes that I did that I've already made. I tell you, I have this video on Yacht Rock, Top 20 Yacht Rock, that I did with this band Yacht Rock Review here with the singer, Nick. And then I started working on it, and I have talked to Brene Brown, who follows my channel. I had some DMs with Brene about that. She suggested you should do a Yacht Rock, Top 20 Yacht Rock songs. I said, oh, I already have the list. Let me send it to you. So I sent it to her, and she goes, oh, well, what do you think about this song? What do you think about this song? And we went back and forth about 10 messages. And then she goes, wow, this is really hard. I said, exactly. This is really hard. You get people trash you for, the Minutemen. Okay, so I need to do more punk rock. Okay. What makes a song great? Punk rock. I need to do some more punk bands. What was the first thing I did? Pop punk. Blink. What started off this series, which has about 1 million views. Interview Tom Bukovac. I'm going to do that, definitely. Music from dive bars, local gigs, opening bands. Thank you, Austin. Maybe a monthly highlight of music you come across that aren't signed. I don't come across that much stuff. Well, I mean, I do, but 70s MOR. Yeah, kind of. Yes. More grunge songs. The Vandals. There you go. Pixies, Husker Du. Everybody. Oh man, I've been asked about the Pixies a lot. I opened up for Bob Mould one time when I first moved here to Atlanta. I was playing with Tim Smith from Jellyfish, and we opened up for Bob. Speaking of Husker Du, huge Husker Du fan, Bob Mould fan. Top 10 songs that use chromaticism. I think people though would be like, what does that even mean? Top 20 female rock vocals. Top 20 female rock vocals. Speaking of the talking about cultural relevancy of lyrics from the 70s, I was going to. I've talked with. I went and had coffee with Emily from the Indigo Girls, just before. It was. Oh God, it was 2 months ago now, but. We talked about doing a video together. I was going to have her come in and play and talk about the Indigo Girls. And then I told her I wanted to do a video about Joni Mitchell with her. She's a huge Joni Mitchell fan and has met Joni and played at her house. And I want to do what makes a song great, Joni Mitchell. Sunny Day Real Estate. Dude, man, I love Sunny Day Real Estate. I have the song... 7, which is one of my favorite. David, thank you so much. Wow. Appreciate that. I have the song 7, which I love, Sunny Day Real Estate. Oh, man. Massive fan of the band. Jeremy is a great singer. Oh, God, they're so good. Top 20 film scores. I need to do that. Top 20 film scores. It's a goal, but it's all going to be John Williams. The Chords of Alan Holdsworth. Part 2. 90s chick bands. Tony Levin's approach to songcraft. Puddles. The Man Behind the Music. You talking about Puddles? Puddles the Clown? I'm friends with Puddles. We've been talking about doing a video together for a year. We go to the same coffee. We go to the same Starbucks. When we could go to the Starbucks, we went to the same Starbucks. Puddles the Clown. There you go. Oh, that's right. You know about that. I mentioned it on here. I have to. My kids want to meet Puddles. My girls are always, when's Puddles coming over? Rick, I might not have another chance to talk to you live, so I have to ask you, how come I never mentioned Robert Fripp? It's inconceivable you don't know Fripp. What are you talking about? It's inconceivable. I went to see Robert Fripp play, 6 months ago. Um, top 20 guitar players with little tiny baby hands. Nice, John. Andy Summers chords. How can they still be alive? Am I into comedy music? I'm into Spinal Tap. Does that count? Top 20 rock instrumentals. You do a Dream Theater song breakdown. You know what? I was honestly, Jason, I was talking about that today. I was talking about that today. Top 20 modulations in rock. Top 20 modulations in rock. New paragraph. What makes this song great? Level 42. Top 20 classical covers of rock music. New paragraph. Velvet Underground, new paragraph. Porcupine Tree. Had a lot of interest in Porcupine Tree. Iggy Pop. My friend Hal, one of my really good friends, played with Iggy for years. Was bass player with Iggy. How about Brian Eno? Love to interview Brian Eno. What an interesting guy. Top 20 music ripoffs. Breakdown of Meshuggah. Yeah, I got to do Meshuggah. I have to do Meshuggah. Meshuggah. New paragraph. Okay. Top 20 songs written by Rick Beato. Well, that's not a very interesting video. Okay, so I am going to interview Steve Lukather. We've been emailing each other, but he's got a record coming out. When his record comes out in a couple months, I'm going to interview him around based around that. So I am using a dictaphone. Well, I'm using my phone, talking into it. It's voice to text. I have the next. You guys have. I know, playing out my next 20 years. So yeah. So this is where I decided to come on here today to talk about stuff, give it some perspective. My Tosin interview, Hassan, went very well. I have to edit it. Tosin just texted me while we were in here, telling me he didn't have my email. All right. We're all good here. Check out my new video, please. Watch my ballads video if you can. At least, I want you to see the performances, because the performances of Carmen, Jason, and Shane are really great. I mean, really great. Hey, Tom, good to see you. Anyways, all right. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. We'll see you later.